Good evening. Welcome to Peak Performance Sciences Anxiety Support Group. Thank you all for coming. Today's program is going to be working on a few ways to deal with anxiety and some of the issues that we've been facing over the last couple of years. My name is Dan Abella, and I'm the author of The Theater of the Mind. And in addition, I run a service called Peak Performance Sciences, where I work with people from all walks of life and dealing with the challenges that come from what's happening in the pandemic. So some of the people I work with include people who work from have anxiety, have PTSD, have depression, and so forth. So the goal tonight is very simple, to provide a series of practices that all you can do at home that will enable you to really center yourself and manage anxiety, uh, the way we've been doing it in the last couple of years. God knows that we've all been through a lot with these lockdowns, uncertainty about the future, uh, continuous messaging about what to do regarding the virus and so forth. So, in the midst of this storm of strange information, we need to center ourselves. We need to find that center inside us so that essentially, when whatever throws comes our way, we're able to deflect it. Okay. I believe I have two people today that have will be joining me in as part of this demonstration. I made this offer late last week to those who are interested in joining us on a video call, and many of them have chosen to just watch. But I believe I have Silvio here. Hey, Silvio, how are you?
How you doing, Dan?
Good, good. Nice meeting you. Silvio, by the way, has attended some of our workshops, and he's definitely very happy to work with us today. I also have Calvin. Calvin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. So let's get down to basics. Um, what the first thing is, I know that the focus today is on anxiety. So although there are other aspects that you think, Calvin, you mentioned, I want to work primarily on anxiety, and if we have a little bit of time, we'll also work on some of these other issues that you mentioned in your email to me. So the first thing I want to know is this: starting with Silvio. Silvio, can you?
Yeah,
I can barely see you. You're like almost off camera here.
I'm here.
Okay, great. Tell me a little bit about what challenges, if any, do you want, or is this something you want to reinforce? Or tell me a little bit about what's been going on.
uh, Pretty much, I've been trying to keep myself centered.
Okay,
Meditation. I go to the gym, exercise. So I try to keep myself in sort of in a good space.
got it.
Uh, Try not to get caught up in the whole fear that's out there. I try not to get involved in it. I try to keep myself in my own space.
Got it.
There's a saying, when you know the truth about things, the truth will set you free. And
Right.
basically, I read a lot of metaphysical material. I meditate. I study. Been doing for many years, so I pretty much know what causes how fear kind of disturbs the whole mechanism of the body,
Right.
how it creates an imbalance in the body, which leads to anxiety, which leads to worries, and throws the whole mechanism out of balance. So, and it sets you up for illness pretty much, causes dis-ease in the body.
Got it.
So I
Got it.
try to keep myself not get sucked into the fear,
Right.
because everyone's pushing the fear out there. I mean, I don't listen to the news. I stay away from the news and bad news. So I mean, there's a lot of information out there. Some of it's good, some of it is bad. And I just try to keep myself in my own space,
Right.
trying to stay balanced. And as soon as I catch myself drifting off, just like in meditation, I try to bring myself back,
Right.
being present in the moment, and staying centered and not allowing myself to get sucked into the fear and not cause any anxiety and worries, which disturbs the whole mechanism of the body pretty much. So,
Right. And Calvin, tell me a little bit about your situation.
Well, I've been trying to keep my head above water, probably just like everybody else. I get caught up, somewhat in, with the headlines and things like that. You try to. I sometimes just shut off the news, for what it causes. But I think I've handled it pretty well. I've been vaccinated, and I do take my precautions as much as possible. Although I think that some of my anxiety, or put it this way, one of the reasons that I'm here, this is long standing for me. It's not just COVID related, but some of the issues that I have been with me pretty deep seated, and certainly the last few months have not helped anything at all. But as I said, it's some of it is pretty long standing for me.
Okay, great. So, what I'm going to propose, what I'm going to suggest today is that we go through a process that I do personally every day, and I have done during this pandemic. It's a very simple process, and that I find it to be very effective in dealing with those moments when we feel that gut wrenching feeling, or you feel palpitations, or feel a little dizzy, whatever it is. I find that this process, regardless of what is happening to you, once you apply it methodically, it within a matter of minutes, or sometimes even less, you feel much better. So, but before we go there, the very first thing we need to do is, and this is something that I think, Silvio, you're doing, and I do it myself, is we need to start every morning with a simple, maybe 1 or 2 minute practice where we just do breathing. That's it, just breathing. And the idea will become clear a lot later on down this program. So what we're gonna do right now is just do that. We're already breathing, but a lot of people actually don't breathe uh, most efficiently. Most people breathe from their upper chest or even their throat, whereas the most efficient way of breathing is, as most martial arts people, most holistic people, it's basically from the belly, you know, because that's where you're going to be able to really expand and really fill up your lungs with oxygen. And then the practice that I do is you breathe from the nose and exhale through the mouth. It's simple. You fill up your stomach. You literally got to, almost like you place your hand over your belly right now, right? And then as you exhale, I want you to just notice how your belly fills up with air, right? And then when you inhale, when you exhale, then contract your stomach and then let the air come out of your mouth. It's very simple. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So we're gonna do about a minute of that, just that. Okay. So make sure you sit upright, nice and straight, but not. You don't want to arch your spine. You want to make sure your spine is as nice and erect without straining any of the back muscles. Just find that spot where you feel most comfortable right now.
I'm going to switch chairs. I'm in a swivel chair right now. I should probably be in a straight back.
Whatever is most
Yeah.
comfortable for you.
I'm fine. I'm in my meditation cushion.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and of course, the smartest thing is what I did is I once picked up a bar stool, and that's become since then my meditation chair.
Mhm.
Yeah, I only use it for meditation.
Right.
So the minute I sit there, bang, I'm already in a kind of a
Right.
relaxed state.
Mhm.
So I would recommend that if you haven't done so already, pick a chair that you use only for your meditation or for your breathing or for your relaxation, because that will become like an anchor that you can go to during those moments where you are restless, where you're tired, where you're feeling anxious, whatever. Just go there. So that's what I did with my chair. So all right, so let's start. It's just you want to do this with your eyes closed, so, and or eyes open, whichever way is best for you. But all right, so imagine you're inhaling through the nose. Just inhale, right? And as you inhale, imagine a wave of awareness that begins to rise up the back of your spine slowly, evenly. It moves up, all the way up to the heavens, to above. And as you exhale, bring that awareness down, down, down from the heavens, down your forehead, down your throat, down your chest, down your belly, your legs, all the way down to the bottom. Inhale again. Bring the awareness to the back, up the back of your spine, slowly, up, up, to the mid chest, the back, all the way to the crown, and then all the way to the heavens. And as you exhale, bring it down, 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 all the way down, all the way down. Your chest, your belly, your legs, the soles of your feet, all the way down. And let's do this for a minute or so. Just gently bringing it up and bringing it down. And as you begin to settle in and settle down, you will soon notice how the muscles in your back begin to get relaxed. Your shoulders became more relaxed. You start making adjustments. All that tension slowly begins to disappear before you. That's right. Just let go of all that tension. Let go of all those worries and just let it go. Just drop it. Even just for now. You can always bring it back, but just for now, drop it. And just focus on your breathing. Focus on a spot right now in your body where you feel centered, where you feel relaxed. And as you're breathing, I want you to think of a time, a moment in your life when you felt centered, where you felt relaxed, where you felt connected to your surroundings. It could have been a walk down the beach. It could have been maybe an outing with your friends. It could have been in the forest. It could have been any of those moments when you felt, even for a brief second, you felt really connected to your surroundings. Take a second and just find that moment. Moments when you felt safe, when you felt connected, when you felt grounded. Just let your unconscious guide you to that time and place. Just let your unconscious give you an image that might even surprise you of a time when you felt really connected or safe to the ground. That's right. Let your unconscious just like bring it up. Good, good. So now I want you to place your right hand over that spot in your body where you feel the most connected, where you feel most, where that feeling of is most intense. Good, good. And I want you to thank your unconscious for providing you with that memory of being connected, because it's a place you can always go back to, moments when you feel more centered, more relaxed. Just thank your unconscious for that. Good, good, good. All right, all right. Now I want you to, now that you have your hand over your spot, your center spot, I want you to slowly open your eyes and come back to the here and now. Okay. Any images or anything that comes up, just let me know if you want to share with us a time when you felt connected or grounded or Silvio.
Well, basically, I do qigong outdoors. So you're pretty much on the ground with your feet, so you feel the earth's energy underneath. And then we kind of put our hands on the hara, just below the navel, and
Right.
that really gets me rooted and centered, and I can feel the energy just
Got it.
pulsating through my body. But my consciousness is centered and balanced.
So
It's not
so whenever
flying
you
in one direction or the other. It's just present, and it's just here or there, whatever.
you're here, so whenever you want to reach that moment,
Yeah,
you keep your hand there.
right. I just put my left hand over just below the navel, the right hand over it,
Right.
and just in a split second, the energy just starts to
Okay.
flow up
Great.
into my consciousness, into my head, whatever you want to
And you
call it,
feel that.
and I
Great.
can just feel that being present or the
Being
presence of
present.
just being.
Present. Right.
Right.
And we all have different parts in our body where we most connect. So,
Yeah.
uh, so in your case, Sylvia was there, but it varies from person to person. Like Calvin, I noticed you were putting your hand over somewhere on your chest area,
My heart.
your heart, exactly.
Yes.
And that's when you place your hand over your heart, you felt what?
I felt connected. Actually, the thought that came up was a walk in nature.
A walk in nature.
I'm a city person, born and bred, but the memory that came back was walking in the country,
Excellent.
in trees and ground instead of concrete sidewalks, and it was just being in the midst of all the trees and the grass and things like that.
You
That
know,
was more relaxing than anything else. And also, another thing is that a thought that came to me was that I was thankful that at least I had that memory to come back to.
got it. And you always will. And that's a memory
Mhm.
that stays with you. And like everything in life is needed to go back to those memories. So like your memory is like your friend, is like an ally that will help you bring you back to that moment, even in the midst of whatever's happening. Just going there, just like Silvio, when you can go out there and be to your aura and connect with that, you feel that sense of center. And in a way, isn't it nice to know that both of them have to do about rootedness in nature, rootedness to the earth.
Mhm.
You know? So the first part that we need to do every morning, that I do, and I recommend you guys do, is just part of a practice, because and you might even want to write it down on a post-it and put it on your computer. Put it wherever you feel you'll need it during the day. Uh, Write down as a reminder, because the key is to always being able to connect or reconnect to that source of center, that memory. And you might find that there are other memories that will begin to surface about moments when you felt centered, when you felt in the flow, or when you felt connected to the earth or to nature. And so thank your unconscious and thank the very aspect of being there, because the more you thank, the more you're grateful to that, the more those memories will appear, uh, sometimes without you even asking for them. You find yourself being centered for no, and just bang, it's just your unconscious is kind of giving back. That's the first thing that I do, that I recommend you do. The second thing, if you haven't done so, and this is already in the kind of in the public domain, is take a couple of minutes every day to be thankful for things that are happening to you or that have happened. I mean, we are very good at thinking about the negative in life, what a crummy weather we have today. Uh, when is this pandemic going to end, and so on. But we need to at least spend a couple of minutes every day, maybe a minute, being thankful to the universe, to your creator, to whatever, however you wanna, to your spiritual center, about the things that you have, like you can breathe, that you can still walk, that you can so a couple of minutes of that reinforces this notion that of gratitude, even in the midst of a lot of negativity and anxiety. That again is about conditioning your mind to really connect to those memories that can bring you back to your center, right? Okay, so let's return. Now let's go back to the issue of anxiety, and that's the first thing I want to emphasize, that anxiety is and is a signal, is actually a calling, a yearning, a cry out for help that's coming from either your body or from your mind. So just like, imagine anxiety as being a friend that you have ignored for a long time and is saying, hey, I need some attention. And it's a friend that you have neglected, that you are not paying attention to. What anxiety does, it's saying, hey, there's a thought, there's a feeling, there's something here that I'm not acknowledging. So this is how we connect with anxiety in a positive way. Whenever you feel anxious, those moments that you feel anxious, right? Just like you focus on moments when you feel centered, you focus on what part of your body are you feeling anxiety. For instance, I notice in myself, whenever I feel a little bit anxious, it happens here around, right below my heart, around my solar plexus. I feel like a tightening, and I feel like, what's going on here? So this is what I do. It's very simple. I place my other hand, by the one over there, and I stay with that feeling for a few seconds, and I say the following. It's a mantra. It's kind of a statement. You say, you're welcome, meaning like you're welcome to share whatever it's happening. I'm sure you have a good reason to feel this way. You say these things to yourself as if you're talking to someone else. You're not talking you're talking to yourself, but there's a part of you, a memory that's alive, that wants to open up to you. So you place your hand over there and say, you're welcome, meaning like you're welcome to be here with me. I'm here with you. I'm sure you have a good reason to feel this way. I valued you. You're important to me. And just mention those four statements and stay with that feeling. Really say it sincerely. Now, this is the challenging part, because a lot of people, when they start this process, they think, what's going on? Why am I even talking to this? There's no part here. But you got to understand that this is you yourself is the sum of these voices, these different parts that come out that want to express themselves. So a lot of the wisdom is in the body. So the anxiety most of the time will be here, or in the chest, or in the lower solar plexus, wherever it is. Just place your hand there and direct your attention to that area. And stay there for a few minutes. Don't be impatient. Just give it a couple minutes. And okay, so let's use an example, Sylvia. For instance, whenever those moments that you felt anxious in the past, which I'm sure they're far and few in between, but I'm sure those few moments that you feel anxious, where do you usually feel it in your body?
Well, I feel it in the solar plexus, pretty much, just below the rib cage, and it's kind of a band that goes all, it wraps around into the back.
Okay.
So it basically starts around the solar plexus area. There's a tightness.
It's a tightness. So it's around here, right?
Yeah, just below the rib cage, mostly to the left side.
Mostly to the, okay, so it's a ridge to your left. So it would be around here.
Yeah, right.
Right, right. Okay. So let's do this now for illustration purposes, right?
Hmm.
Place your hand over there,
Hmm.
right? And I'm sure you, I think we worked with before, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you this has helped. That it's always good to, it's like friends. You need to always be reminded, hey, I'm here for you. So it doesn't, you don't have to wait until the anxiety kicks in. You can always uh be ahead of the game and say, hey, I know I'm here for you. So
Hmm.
it's like a pre front loaded. So you can put your hand over there and just say the following: I'm here for you. You just say it out loud.
I'm here for you.
Say, you mean a lot to me.
You mean a lot to me.
Say, I'm sure you have a good reason to feel this way.
I'm sure you have a good reason to feel this way.
Now, and repeat that again. I'm here for you.
I'm here for you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I'm sure you have a good reason to feel this way.
I'm sure you have a good reason to feel this way.
And when you say it, just say it as if you're talking to a friend or someone that you have ignored or maybe didn't pay enough attention, and really mean it. And that's the most important thing, to really mean it.
Hmm.
And even say, look, I'm finding it hard to talk right now, but I know you're there. Just say that. I mean, you could, if you find it difficult to even communicate, acknowledge that. Say, listen, I know we haven't spoken in a long time, but I know you're there. You're there, right? And see what happens. What kind of feelings? If you, the most important thing when you say these things is not the statement, well, what comes afterwards. Do you feel, what kind of emotional response do you get? Do you feel misty eyed? Do you feel a sense of sadness? Do you feel a fluttering? Some, whatever it is, that it means there is something going on.
Yeah, we think we did it in the workshop, and the key word I got was everything. It's all right.
It's all right,
All
exactly.
right. That's what the key words were to speak to this part that was
To
feeling.
speak to him, and
Right.
and, and and understand that it's no most likely a younger self.
Right. It's
Be-
part of me that feels. Uh, I realize what it is and what it needs. That it needs to feel um, support, needs attention, and needs me to have its back. So
Right,
feels out of sorts, feels like it was never supported or nobody had its back. So now when I do put my hands there and I speak to this part that feels out of sorts, it kind of calms down.
comes down.
And I do it very often. It's really a great practice because it really calms that, inner child in there or whatever part. It really kind of feels secure and comforting because I'm there for it.
Right, right. Because you, exactly. I mean, that's really the key, is finding that right expression, and having that part say something to you. And all it takes sometimes is a couple of minutes, and the anxiety drops. It's like, okay, I just wanted some reassurance from him that everything is good.
Right.
And then, and then what happens is you can also follow it up with putting your hand right where you're where you feel centered. So you have your one hand there and
Hmm.
the other hand there, and
Right.
feel that kind of circulation of energy that's going from one nourishing the other.
Yeah,
So that,
from one center to the part where it feels anxiety.
right. So it's like, hey, I'm here to the rescue, just reminding you things are gonna work out.
Yeah,
Things will turn out to be okay. They'll be all right. I have your back.
right.
I have your support. And
Yeah,
just, Yeah.
I found out what that part needs. So when I do it, I give that part what it needs because it
R-
probably didn't get that. So it feels anxious, it feels fearful, it feels worried. So when I go there, I try to kind of comfort it with my words that I'm there for it. Now I'm the adult there for that part. You know, the adult that has more wisdom, more understanding than that part which didn't or didn't get what it
Exactly.
needed at the
And
time.
that part is very young.
Right.
It's just like, and it needs some reassurance, you know. And, you know, and if I wanted to just explain it, this is, I find it's a much more human way of explaining how we. I could say it's one part of your brain is connecting to another, but that kind of takes away the humanity out of it. That's why I want to instead say, look, connect these, and you find this dialogue kicking in. Hey, I just want to be supported and reassured. I want to have your you have my back and so on. And so, and Calvin, so whenever those moments when where you felt in the past, you felt anxious or you felt a little out of sorts, or um, where generally have you felt that in your body?
Well, it's not so much the body. It's just that I know that these all start from wandering, irrational thoughts. So I mean, it starts here,
Okay.
rather than that then manifests itself in other parts of the body.
Well,
I
that
mean, if
that that
anything,
is that is part of your body, you
yeah.
know.
But I mean, the thing is that when we talk about this, uh, it seems like we're giving attention to these irrational thoughts.
Oh,
Is
oh, right.
isn't there a way to stop them from occurring in the first place?
Well, this is what you do. You give him, you acknowledge the irrational
I
thoughts.
see. Hmm.
You say, I know there's a reason why I'm having these thoughts.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I know there's a reason and I don't know why. And you may even want to place your hand over your forehead or over your back, over your head where you feel those thoughts. And it says, I know there's a reason why I'm having these thoughts, right? And just place your attention there. Acknowledge them. The most important thing is to humanize the emotion. Humanize what's going on by you focusing your attention. It says, I'm acknowledging you. I'm here for you. I don't know what these thoughts, but I acknowledge they're there and I'm here for you. When you have that, then that automatically creates a small loop between you and those thoughts. You might not find out what they represent or what they are right away. It's a practice. It's like, imagine you haven't seen your friend for 20 years, let's say, and one day they say, Calvin, this is little Calvin, or this is, and you're gonna look at each other. It's like, what? It's like you need time to develop a relationship with that signal or with that symptom, and that is the key. It's a relationship. It's more than trying to fix anything, because generally these aspects of ourselves are generally younger parts of us that are doing that to protect us from something, an event, a trauma, something. And when we as adults go there with all our resources, we can then comfort them without becoming them. You know, the key meditation is to be with what's happening without becoming that. And that's a major distinction. So when people are meditating, for instance, Silvio, you might see thoughts, but the key is not to identify with the thoughts. The thoughts are like clouds that come and go. So, and if the more energy you give those thoughts, the more powerful they become. But you acknowledge the thoughts, they're there, and you just let them go, move on, rather than holding on to those thoughts. I'm talking about in the meditative process, and just giving them more energy. You acknowledge their presence. So let's do this, Calvin, for a second. Let's see what let's see, you know, what we get out of it. As I said, this might have to do with other um, challenges, but this is definitely helpful. So just I want you first of all place your hand over your chest. One hand, the hand where you felt that sense of being centered. You're back in nature. You're rooted. You're one with the ground. Go back to that moment. Go back to that memory. That time when you were connected to the ground, nature, not from the concrete, but in nature. You really feel that sense of connection, rootedness. Okay, go there. All right. Now, with your other hand, I want you to place your other hand over maybe your forehead or over your head. Okay. Now imagine a beam, a healing light that moves from your chest over your shoulder to your left shoulder, up your left arm, all the way to your head. And it's calming that part of you. It's giving a sense of acknowledgement and presence. Okay, so open your eyes slowly. Remove. Okay, come back to the here and now. Okay, one thing I want to mention is this is very important. When we start at the beginning of the day, you want to check your weather. What's my weather today on a scale of 1 to 10? Regarding the thoughts, for instance, if it's Calvin, if you wake up, let's say one morning where your thoughts are all over the place, where will you put that on a scale of 1 to 10 that day? So you want to make sure you start out with a number. I'm a 7, I'm a 2. Like if today I'm fully centered, it will be a 0. On a day that I'm like all over the place, I'm a 10. So you want to start out before the practice itself with a number. It's a self-measurement. In the same applies to that part of you. Some days that part will feel a little bit more needs a little bit more support, Silvio. And then what is the number today? What is my on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm a 4. And then do the practice and notice I've dropped to a 2. This is self-calibration. This is a way of you getting a sense of how these aspects are responding. So, Calvin, let's go back to this. So whenever you have these thoughts, right, this is what you do. Place your other hand over your head and say the following. You got to say this aloud. I mean, so because that actually helps the other. I'm here for you.
I'm here for you.
You mean a lot to me.
You mean a lot to me.
I'm sorry I have neglected you.
I'm sorry I have neglected you.
You have a message for me.
You have a message for me.
You are welcome.
You are welcome.
And let's repeat that again. I'm here for you.
I'm here for you.
You have a message for me.
You have a message for me.
You mean a lot to me.
You mean a lot to me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So you want to repeat these, and just repeat that again now on your own without me saying it.
You have a message for me. I'm sorry I have neglected you. You mean a lot to me. You're welcome.
Okay, and one other. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what you want, but I'm here for you.
I'm not sure what you want, but I'm here for you.
And say it now with real meaning, with intent, with a sense of really wanting to know what is the source of this. Just say like, don't say that, but I'm saying with the emotion, it's like I really want to know what do you need right now from me?
I'm sorry I have neglected you. I know you have a message for me. I am here for you, and you're welcome. I'm listening to you.
Okay, good. Now, stay in that state. Now, I want you to place your other hand over your heart. Now, imagine a beam of light. That's right. That's right. Just moving up, moving up, moving up, all the way. That's right. And whatever emotions come up, let them come up because it's just the other part talking to you, that other aspect. That's right. Whatever it is, and acknowledge that part. You can just nod your head to that part saying, yes, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm sorry it's taking so long, but I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And imagine a healing light that moves up from your heart all the way up to your chakra, to your head. And it's putting some order, some kind of organization, some healing to those thoughts. And just be there for a few seconds, experiencing a healing light that's moving from your heart, that centered quality. And it's moving and it's centering your thoughts too. And you don't even know what they are or what they represent, but behind that, you know something is happening. There's a feeling, there's a resonance, and just let it be. Stay with that for a few seconds. And take a deep breath. That's right. That's right. Whatever emotions come up, just let them be. Just let them be because they're talking to you. It's been a long time you really connected with him. It's been a long time, but you're making that effort now, and he knows it, and I know it. That's right. That's right. Feel that center quality that you can always return to at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day. Feeling good, that you can always put your hand over your heart. That's right. That's right. Good. Good. So slowly open your eyes. Take a deep breath. Okay, so how did that feel?
Much better.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I think that it's also, I feel better because I'm in the present. And when you're in the present, you're not comparing things either in the past or the future or whatever, but the present.
You're in the now.
Right. Yes.
Exactly. And that's really where we need to operate most of the time. You see, our minds tends to, by nature, be future casting, predicting, but sometimes it gets overboard. So that's why we got to reel it in back to the present, to the here and now. And sometimes these feelings that we have are signals, are cries for help from some part of us that is stuck in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just got to go there. We just got to go there to our past and reconnect. It only takes a few minutes, and do so with the most important things, with sincerity, not like a mechanical practice like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, but really mean it. And stay in what the Zen talk about, the no mind, the beginner's mind. It's like, I know there's someone here that is reaching out to me, that is connecting with me. And I don't know what he wants, but I'm here for you. I've got your back. I'm supporting you. I know your message. And hopefully you can share it with me some other way. And with that kind of conversation, you're essentially triggering off memories that you have that want to open up. Another expression is, something is waking up inside me. Something is waking up. Something is waking up. Thank you. I know I'm in pain. You're in pain, but something is waking up. And this is a kind of practice that really is great anytime in the morning, Calvin. And I think, Sylvia, you're already doing this. It's the best time, like right after you wake up, when you're like that state where like half asleep, half awake. That's the best time. That's when your unconscious is not so, it's still there. That's when you want to connect. Take a deep breathe in, breathe out, settle in, settle down, and then connect. with that aspect of you. It's a very simple process, and I do it. I mean, I don't like for those of you who remember those old commercials about the the man who's losing his hair and says, I'm my first customer. Well, I done it myself. Remember that? The hair club for men. Remember that?
Right.
I was my first. Well, I did it too during the pandemic. There were moments all of us were wondering what is going on, and you just do that, and that works. It works and the key is to really believe that sooner or later things begin to open up, and you might find, as long as you're resonating with that aspect of you, memories start to pop up, and the thing is, don't judge them. Whatever comes up is coming from that practice, and just stay with it. And that's, it's like anything else, like working out or like meditating. You stay with that presence, and then sooner or later, it's almost automatic. You just boom, stay there, and then you feel that. I mean, because what's out there is gonna we have no really control over what's out in the world. I mean, but you have control over what's going on inside you. At least you can begin those connections, and whatever your body's telling you, your body is a kind of signal, whatever it is, whether it be a headache or tension or stuffy nose, or that's those signals the body's all the time. The body's always communicating, and so is the mind too. The mind is always communicating. The thoughts, what's going on. So treat them like if you're a younger self, because I guarantee you that younger self wants to connect, and you're making that first effort today to really connect with him.
Well, something that I also notice is that after doing a relaxation exercise or being in the present, or like an exercise of what we just did, I can feel tired right after that.
Right.
And my theory is that because I'm letting go of the stress,
exactly,
I'm being in the present, I'm letting go maybe of some other thoughts or whatever, and the mind, this is probably the normal me, but it's just that I'm always stressed or on edge. There again, because of those thoughts.
Exactly.
But I mean, when you can release those, all of a sudden you come back to the way that you should be. But I mean, when you're always on edge, or those irrational thoughts or whatever, when it becomes that is so much of the normal, when you can just let those go, and then you can see, it's just like I'm rid of that.
It's like
at least for a while.
It's like a big weight has been put on. Someone's coming.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's it. And it's how you feel. It's like you feel more, let go of all these things, and understand these thoughts mean something. They're important, and they have a reason. They have a reason for being there. There's a reason for everything.
But not constantly.
Not constantly. No. They're reminders of something else. So maybe when the thoughts come up, you just return to the now. Mm-hmm. Acknowledge the thoughts. Don't run away. Just acknowledge. I know. I get you. I'm here. I'm here for you. Really acknowledge it, and then return to the present. Because the more we run away from these things, the stronger it gets. So instead, just face them. Just say, "Hey, I'm here for you. I know you have a message. You're waking up. Thank you. And thank you for giving me these thoughts." And then you'll find that all of a sudden the thoughts go away, because they just want to remind you that. And sooner or later you'll find out what these thoughts are. What is the meaning behind the thoughts? Like, what are they trying to do for you? And sooner or later it will pop up. When you least expect it. The key is to have an open mind, at least during those moments early in the day, when those thoughts, because later on we tend to close our mind and we get caught up in our day-to-day work, but at least in the morning and maybe in the evening, just focus on that. So basically, to recap, guys, the main thing is you want to start with 1 or 2 minutes of breathing, at least every morning, of good abdominal breathing. 2 minutes of that. Then you want to place your hand over that part of you that feels centered, connected, rooted. A couple of minutes with that, and then go back to the part of you that's that reminds you every so often. Don't be afraid of going there before don't just wait for the part to say, hey, I'm here. Just go there, say, hey, how you doing? Just place your hand as, okay, what's the thermometer today on a 0 to 10? How do you, and it's like you're taking the initiative. You're taking the first step. So we often wait for these parts to let us know. And don't do that. Just say, hey, I wanted to check in with you, make sure everything is good. Treat him like a friend. And pretty soon, the two of you will just be like one. They'll literally be one. So it's that simple. It's a 10-minute process I do every day. I mean, I do also meditation and so on, but very simple. And you find that every day as you get more comfortable, you become more connected with those cells, And the key is wherever you feel anything, place your hand over that, one hand over that, and really send your intention there. Acknowledge it. You don't have to give it energy. Just acknowledge its presence, and then connect to the other part of you that feels connected with both hands, and then you'll feel that sense of release. And as you said before, like a big weight has been left. It's been dropped away. And that's really how it works. It's a very simple process. It's not that complicated, but we're out of in this day and age where a lot of us are kind of like on automatic, and sometimes that's good for certain things, but other things, like it's good to remind ourselves that you're alive. That's why you're having these thoughts. That's why we're having these memories, because that means you're still living, you're still breathing, you still have feelings, and just connect to those, and understand at the end of the day, you have, as an adult, all the resources you need, that he needs. All the resources that you need, you can share with him, because he's younger, and sometimes he feels neglected or ignored, or that aspect of yourself feels neglected or ignored, because we tend to identify too much with one aspect of our life, whether our job, our spouse, our work, whatever, instead of other aspects of our lives that need some care. So it's about bringing more balance to ourselves. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope it's been helpful. Next week, what I'm gonna do, Calvin, I'm gonna do a process for phobias and so on. So if you want to join me next week, I think next Tuesday. Yeah, I think next Monday.
Yep.
I will. We can do that. But I wanted to start off with something that a lot of us have been going through the last 2 years. It's been a challenging period. And it still is. It still is. I mean, it really is a little bit better for some, but not for others. So we need to stay centered. We need to stay rooted. We need to be taking care of ourselves before we even take care of others. We gotta have that, and then we can make a better world for ourselves. Because then others will see us more rooted, and they want to be like that. So what are you doing that makes you feel more rooted? And you can then share this information with them. So Calvin, I think you have your email. I'm gonna keep you on my email list for live events at some point, if you ever feel like joining us. Hopefully when this pandemic is over.
Yes.
And when people are not so concerned about live meetings, which is an issue. But because I know Sylvia has been to a couple of events and a year or so ago. So we'll definitely keep in the loop. And
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. And again, next week, I'm going to send an invitation also to everybody for any kind of trauma work. And basically, I'm going to focus on the trauma that started at the beginning of the pandemic, and when it goes away sometime in the future. And we'll deal with that. Okay, so that should be an interesting session.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Silvio, again, thanks a God. Practice is the key. There's no way around it. You really have to do it every day. And definitely keep us in touch, Calvin, because I want to know your progress. Let me know if there are any challenges, but practice is the key.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good one. Okay. And we'll see you next week.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Thank you, Silvio.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye. All right, guys. So that brings us to the end of our session. I hope you've you've got some information. Let me see if I have anything here. Thank you all for coming. For the ones who joined me, next week, next Monday, I'm gonna do trauma. For those who didn't want to participate, you're welcome to. Just shoot me an email, and I'll bring you in on the video, and we can do trauma together. At least removing trauma, removing PTSD, removing these kind of challenges. So my goal is to share this knowledge so that others can feel better while we navigate this very challenging period that we seems to be extending every few months. So look, you guys have a good night, and please, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, like our page, like our YouTube. We want to build a community. So as more of you share, I'll be more than happy to share some of what I've learned with others in kind of live presentations. So you have a good night, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye bye.